Hello everybody, how you doing? Wee Paddy here, and as you can see we're going to do a wee sharpening video this morning. We're going to do it on the steel wheel lanner. This is a knife that I done a video of not so long ago, only a few days ago, and I've been doing a cardboard cut test. It came really sharp, but I've done a cardboard cut test and all, and so I thought I'll bring it back to sharpness again. Now I'm going to take it to quite a high grit, but I'm not going to spend a long time getting there, if that makes any sense to you. It does to me. Here's my sort of theme on it. Right, first of all, this is a dia-sharp coarse stone. That knife is blunt, and what I'm using is my Venev stones. Now, I've had these. I've also got a strop here for it to finish the pen, and the Venev stones, they're two-sided. I still believe they're the best stones I've ever used. I'll put details of where you can get them down below. Now, I had these given to me, and they're the best. It's one of the best things I've ever been given in this hobby. There's the ones I'm using today is 280 grit and 700. First of all, the 280, and it's etched into the side of them, so you can't go wrong. It won't come off. So it's 280, 700, and then 2000 underneath here. I just use these as a base to lift it off the table a bit. There's the 2500 and 5000. And really on them stones, I'm not going for a mirror finish, but I'm going for a smoother finish. I can't explain that. In my head, it works. It's like a smoother finish, but I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time getting a mirror finish on it. It's just refining it so that it's sharp enough for everyday use. I don't even need to. The 700 is absolutely fine, and a strop. I don't need to do that. But this is not one of the knives that I'm going to use, you know, I'm going to use it because it's a lovely knife, but it'll not be used a lot. So I like to just put that extra wee bit on it. So if I take it out and I want to show it, it's sharp. So there we go. The Venev stones, all you need is a little glass of water in front of you and dab a bit of water on them. That's all you need. So there's no fuss, no bother. You're not over sinks. You're not, you know, trying to get them soaked and all that. These are amazing. So let's just get started, and I'll show you what I do. So first of all, I'm going to get a bit of water. And I'm just going to put it on the stones. And having one sitting on top of the other with this non-slip mat, it's just a great way to do it. I mean, I have stands, but I'm down the caravan, I don't have them, so you've got to find ways to adapt. So this is going to be quite easy because this is a black stone washed. Once I run down the centre of this, it will nearly take it all away. It does. So there you go. You can't see the edge at all, but that's good because it'll show up straight away. I just blunted this there. So what I tend to do is I'll get my angle and I'll just take off and all I'm doing, where I blunted it across a diamond stone, it'll give a burr either side. So I just wanted to take that off to get started. And it also lets me see how good my angle is in the first couple of strokes. Now, you can see the angle starting to come away there. So it looks pretty good. It looks as if I got the right angle. So what I'm going to do is just back and forward, remembering to lift up because you want to get the front portion of the knife, which is the top of the belly. And if you don't lift up, it'll just give you a horrible big wide angle. So I'm looking to see how I'm doing, and at the front of the knife, I'm doing really good, but there's something holding up down at the bottom here. You can see you can't see the silver thing. So I'm going to put my hand just down here, keep it at the angle that I kept the rest, and see, there we go. I know it sounds really simple, but that's sometimes all it is. There must have been a wee burr there or something that I just wasn't getting it. So I'll just keep it there for the minute, give it that extra wee bit. And what I'm going to do on this side is just raise raise the burr on this side. So I'm cutting this side, raising a burr on this side. So that looks pretty good all along there. I've taken all of it off. Now have I got the only bit is this sort of the top bit up here, which is what I tend to do. The back and the tops is the bit that I find hardest sometimes to get. So I just give that extra wee bit, top and bottom, and then I'm going to feel, there we are. It really is as simple as that. I mean, I've seen people going on for hours and hours. I don't do that. Once I've got a burr, that's it. You don't have to keep on going getting a huge big burr. My burr is all the way. Let me see if you can hear it. No, you can't really hear it, but anyway, it's there. So I'm going to switch over now. And then what I'm going to try and do on this side is again keep it the same angle, and I want to transfer the burr back over onto the front bit. I'm just checking that I'm going from top to bottom, and you can see that I am, because all the silver is showing. And these Venev stones, honestly, they cut so fast. You have to keep watching. You can't just keep going and going and going, because I can feel the burr starting to come, but it's not quite there yet. Now, how you all doing, and do you still like my sharpening videos? Yeah, I'm not the best sharpener in the world, but I get it done. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of myths about sharpening and how hard it is. It's not hard. If you do the basics, all you're trying to do is get metal from one side to the other side. And there again. That's it done. I mean, that's as simple as that. So that means that what I've got is I've got my apex. I've got my two sides of the knife. One's falling over the other, one's coming back over again. That means that I have sharpened correctly. So I can move on. So I'm going to take it off this side. I don't believe that you have to chase that burr back and forward 3 times. Like, this is a working knife. If you're going for some sort of ultra shiny, keep it in the store, you can work as long as you like at knives and get them shinier. But all I want to do is get a knife really sharp. If it's got a mirror polish at the end of it, great, absolutely great. It looks wonderful. So what I'm going to do now is give this just a little bit of a clean off. And what I'm doing now is checking to see that my bevel is even on both sides, and my bevel is pretty even. The way you can see it there, and you can see it on that side, so it's pretty even. So in reality this should cut. So reality is, bring a bit of paper. This is damp paper, it's really damp, it's all I've got. So from top to bottom, all you want to do is get that cutting. Oh, I'm not even showing you on paper, look. Sorry, this paper is really damp. It sits down the caravan here all week, so what I'm doing is just checking to see whether I've got it all the way down. Now, I'm happy enough with that as sharpness goes. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off. And there you go, you can see how much the Venev stones work. It wasn't very long, and I tend not to, there's no need to. Really, honestly, there just isn't. Now, I'm saying that, other people say there is, and I'm not arguing that my way's right and their way's is wrong. I want to take as little steel off a knife as possible, especially, especially if it's one of my favourite knives. I don't want the steel to wear out. That's not what this game is about. It's not about getting it to wear out. It's just to get it to be really sharp. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do the same process again. This is a 700 stone. So you're not going to get as big a burr on this as you would have gotten the 280. The 280 is a cutting stone. This is the refining stone. After 700, you've got a really good work sharp. You go straight to the strop and you have a really good work knife because it's got a bit of bite in it. We're going to go a wee bit further today. So I'm going to start on this, and I'm going to... Can you hear that difference? It's such a smoother stone. It's a 700. So all I'm going to do... Now, you can, if you want, use the marker again. In fact, sometimes I do. You can use the marker again and just get that so that you check that your angle's right. But most of the time my angle stays fairly similar. I don't even measure them, so I have no idea what they are. And again, because I know my faults in sharpening is the tip and the base, sometimes I just give them a wee extra rub just to make sure I'm getting them. So, I'm feeling a little bit, but not enough to make me want to stop. It's just a little bit. But you can hear how smooth this stone is. And this will give you, once you get that burr formation and you change it over, this will give you a really sharp knife. And that's what I love about these stones. You can see how much that's lifting off. These work. This is D2 steel, which is not particularly easy to sharpen. I hear a lot of people saying, I don't find it a problem, but maybe because I don't expect to, I'm not expecting them to all of a sudden jump out of the box. I just do it as I do everything else normally, and as long as you're not looking for that excessive big burr, I try not to look for that because it's harder to get rid of. So I've got my burr all along already. Again, my style of sharpening doesn't take that long, and I don't know whether that's me being wrong or... But usually my knives are pretty sharp. And it's no pressure. It really is just, you can hear, I mean, that's no different than when all I'm doing is stabilizing so that I can get a wee bit of pressure on the tip, which is my weak point. Now, that's it. It's only 700, so this will take a bit longer to get even the small burr. But you can hear how smooth it is. And as you go up, you will find that everything shines smoother, it runs across smoother. I'm just doing my little weak spots. And the reason, when I want to get to the top, I'll get my level and then I'll take it round and then I'll work because I know I'm at that right level for keeping it sharp. Now I feel a small burr, and it really is a small burr. There's not much to it at all. So I'm now going to take that burr off. And then start to level it off. Now don't forget, your knives when you're sharpening, hopefully, they're not going to be completely blunt, like running across a diamond plate and blunted. Hopefully they're still going to be half decent and just need this one stone. You'll not need to go any higher than this. I'm doing it just because I want to show you the difference of it running through a bit of paper if I can. I've never even thought about bringing some nice fresh paper down. But it's been a real, we've had a gale came from America, Kira or something it was called. We've got the tail end of it the last couple of days, so it's been horrendously windy and the internet has been very dodgy. So, there we go. That would be what I was going to do if this is going to be just my little work knife down the caravan. You can already see that, it's so black. So, there we go. I'm going to get a bit of paper again. I mean, that is, it's just so sharp. Already, that is so sharp. And I really don't need to do it. I could just take it to the strop and that would be it fine. That would be it lovely. So, but what I'm going to do is just go up that further couple of steps. I've got the stones, so I may as well use them. So we'll take that off and that will now become my base. And I bring my base up. Now, again, I'll look for where it is. 2,500 is that side up. This is more than what I would normally do, but usually some of my really good knives will get this treatment, will go up this high. But again, I don't spend a lot of time because I'm really not trying to get an ultra mirror finish. All I'm doing now is refine. I'm not even looking for a burr now. I'm just going to try and refine the angle that I've got and make it just that little bit more sleek and cuttable. So there we go. You can, this is 2,500. You can hardly hear it, but as you'll see, it is cutting. Now, it might not be cutting like the other ones, and it won't do. They'll just not cut as much, but you'll see that it is cutting. So it's going to refine this edge and make it that little bit more. I want sticky sharpness now. That's what I'm going for now. And again, I don't have to go for an hour. I know these other machines, the KMEs, you can go for half an hour and an hour and even more if you want these mirror edges. That's really not where I want them. I don't have that much patience, to be honest with you. I have my Lansky for reprofiling, and then these, since I've had these stones, I've really not used much else. They're just so good, the Venev stones. So let's just see what that is. You can see where it's took the metal off the knife. So I'm just gonna, and all I'm going to do is, does this feel any sharper than it did before? Yes, it does. I mean, I love that when it's sort of, you get that feedback. And that's all I need from that stone. I don't need any more from that stone. So I'm just giving it a wipe. And we'll go to the very last stone, which is 5,000 grit, which is, you know, what am I doing that for? It's 5,000 grit, so this will really, hopefully now, because I've got a good angle, I didn't spend a lot of time today, but I've spent the time making sure that my angle is good on the knife itself. It now needs just a little bit of oomph, and there it is. So this is the last time. I'm just gonna literally find my angle and just do that, and this is 5,000. And you can see it sounds, listen to that, there's literally no sound. It feels as if there's no resistance in the knife whatsoever. And by resistance I mean we're trying to slice a layer off this every time. The blade's tilted, so we're trying to slice, and it's the noise. Listen to this noise. I'm sure it's barely audible from when the 280, you can hear the 280 working and cutting. I can see the shine coming on this knife. I can see that it's probably not mirror, but it'll be good enough for anything I ever want. Honestly, it really will. What do you see? You'd be surprised. And to me, this is just, I found stones that I like that work for me, that don't take me all day long, because if it does, you wouldn't want to keep. You would put it off and put it off, whereas I don't. I know it's only going to take me a bit. Now, that knife is gleaming. I don't know whether I'm going to get that to you and let you see it. It is absolutely gleaming. It's a lovely finish on it. And on the other side, it's, you know, it's as clean an edge as I'll ever want. That's probably a good edge there. You can see that, and I don't know, that hasn't taken me that long. Say without talking 10 minutes. Now let's see how sharp it is. Is this sharp enough for your collection? Oh, listen to how clean that is. Listen to how clean. And if that isn't sharp enough for what you want, I'm not going to be able to help you. Because to me that is just lovely. That is just lovely. So what I'm going to do now, I always finish with a strop, because it just, if there is a tiny little burr left on it, it'll take that off and make it even better, and it'll give it that little bit more luster. This is a knife strop. This is one of Jeff's ones that he gave me. Well, this is the old one that I've cleaned up a bit, and I keep it down the caravan now because, rightly so, I sometimes forget, and I forgot to bring my new strops down with me, but because I had this here, I'm not stuck. So there's it. I don't know, I give it, I don't give it a set number, I just give it a bit of a wipe. And I mean, that is as lustrous as, it's really hard to show. I've got my camera in reverse. That is a lovely edge on that knife. It's as shiny as you like, or as I will ever want. And again, is it cutting? Look, just listen. I mean, I still get a thrill out of being able to do that on a piece of cutlery. That's just a lump of metal that we can make sharp. And I honestly believe since I got the Venev stones, it's made it so much easier, because there's no faffle. I'm not having to worry about soak time. I'm not having to worry about anything else. These stones cut, well, they're not dishing at all. Dishing, but I mean dishing where you go back and forward. Now, I don't go back and forward as much as I see an awful lot of people on the YouTubes. But that's sharp enough. I mean, I don't think you'd want anything sharper than that. That was blunted on a coarse diamond stone before I started. So, there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it gives you a wee bit of a lift. That this is not hard. Just get the stones and practice. Now, you don't have to get the very big ones like these if you wanted the Venev ones. They do smaller ones that are, I think they're about 4 inch and about 1 inch across. You can get them and do them in your hand, or put them down on a platform and do it in that. You can adjust your cutting. But for me, the joy of having a knife is having a sharp knife. I mean, that is the joy of having a knife, is having a sharp knife. That's sharp. I hope you enjoyed that little wander into Paddy's sharpening again, and we'll see you very shortly. Thank you so much for your patience. If you watched the whole way through, you're a star. Thank you so much. Bye bye now. Bye.